Hit, bro. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, guys. Everybody pray for some weapons. Pray for some weapons. No Zeeks, please. No Zeeks and no plum swords. I haven't had a plum sword in months. I used to be called Payne the Plum Picker. Oh, here we go. Fuck. It's a character. We got side boob. Hey, what's going on, Jib? What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another SLA video. That's right, guys. We're back at it again, and we have ourselves a little dilemma. Oh my god. I've been going through my channel today, just kind of going through the content and just seeing people's comments, and I am absolutely floored. Now, not very surprised, to be honest, because I've seen this happen so often in the last few, like, I don't know, months maybe, when it comes down to weapon banners. That's right. They gave us an extra weapon banner to kind of be able to get weapons easier, because I don't know if you guys were around when Global first launched or even early access. Getting a weapon was even more of a nightmare before, because the only thing we had back in the day was the custom draws. There was no weapon draws in order to even get a chance to get yourself a weapon. Believe it or not, we had to go through just regular custom draws, and getting a weapon back then was 10 times worse than getting a weapon as it is now. But that doesn't stop from the fact that it has been an absolute nightmare for everybody to do so. So what I want to do, guys, is just going to go over some of the comments I've seen in my last video to kind of go over what people are saying and the dilemma that people are having, and to kind of discuss some of the options I think Netmarble should have in regards to fixing this, because let's be real, some of these runs are like insane. Okay, so here I'm going to show you guys real quick some of the comments that are happening right here. Shout out to you guys for putting these up. So I am effing scared of summoning because last time I spent 300 and got 0 copies of Water Scythe. Now I'm shaking reading comments. LMFAO. 350 weapon pulls, only 1 orb. Let's see, man, I hit with 490 weapons and 300 custom tickets to get to A3. So that's what, in total of 790 tickets, guys. I'm starting to hate it when it comes down to summoning. I used 220 custom draws to get 3 copies and 1 from weapon. That's actually really good. This is one of the better ones. Spent 350 tickets to get A3, which I'm okay with. That's actually really good as well. Now remember, guys, crafting will happen very, very soon. We have to wait at least 2 weeks before the new weapon is out for the crafting to kick in. I spent 177 weapon tickets, 10 black ones, didn't get a single copy of the new weapon. It's actually pretty crazy. Like you guys can see right here, 480 tickets for C1 orb. Yes, 480 tickets. I did 1,700 summons between customs and weapons and got A7. Oh man, shout out to Cap, by the way, Cap Teacher Face. I think he summoned over 2,000 times, guys. Over 2,000 times. I don't even think he hit A10. You guys can see the list goes on. You guys should check some of these out. They're pretty insane to see some of the actual responses to some of these summons, and it's a little crazy because, like, look, I have 800 weapon tickets, got 1 dupe for Benjamin. That's unreal. 800 weapon tickets for 1 dupe. So you guys can see we currently have a dilemma when it comes down to getting weapons. Now this is of course becoming more apparent as new metas are happening, because the older guard, the older weapons are now being replaced by the newer weapons, making it a lot more difficult to get ourselves a lot of these characters that we're looking for, right? So specifically, or characters or weapons, specifically weapons, because at least with the raid up draws it's a little easier, I find, with characters, but the weapons are a whole different animal. Like a whole, and I mean RNG is always going to play a role, but it's crazy to see this. Now I'm hoping that we take this a step further with Netmarble. I'm going to give a suggestion. I hope they actually consider it, because I think this might help a lot of the community and the game out a little bit more, especially with these low rates for weapons. But before I do that, guys, I want to remind everyone, of course, of the content creator program that's still going on right now. We are currently almost at the 5,000 mark. Let's try to keep going there, guys, and get ourselves over to 5,000 supporters, and that way I'll be able to give out more codes to you guys as the game goes on. Right now we have gold codes, we have codes for shadow traces and a few other things. There's 2 currently active codes. The other 2 have just expired, so if you missed out on the 1K Essence Stones, I'm sorry, they are now expired. But we have 2 additional codes that just came out, so if you are interested, click that support button, guys. It's pinned to every single comment, or every video in a comment, and as well as every single description of the videos. Also, make sure you join the Discord, guys. We do put some of these codes in the Discord once in a while to help people out who can't support, but if you are a supporter, thank you so much. Want to say a big shout out to my top 10, of course. That's JSto 141 forgot who 141 is. I apologize, guys. This is Taco, BW Panda, Sod, Telio 101, Makuja, Play Level, 892, and I think 892 is Kaiser. One of these guys are Kaiser, and I apologize, guys. Everyone else's NIDs I missed. I'm so sorry. If I did miss you here as an NID, please DM me. Let me know what your name is again. I just get so many DMs from so many people that I forget who's who once in a while, but it's not to take away from the fact that you guys have been supporting me for a very, very long time, and I appreciate you and thank you from the bottom of my heart. So thank you again. All right, so back to this. Here's my suggestion. So first off, we have crafting, right? Crafting is now available to us. So this is actually a really good thing. So a couple things I want to talk about. Number one, for crafting, should you craft the scythe? So here's what my take on this whole situation with the scythe versus the orb. If you are going to be using the orb extensively, and this is something you want to use, then you have to have the scythe, in my opinion. Like, it's just a no-brainer. So not having the scythe makes the orb kind of useless. Like you guys can see, I got the orb on my free-to-play account yesterday, summoning with my whole 104 tickets, but I don't have any of the scythe. So what I might do here, guys, is just craft 2 of these and then put them aside and keep them there. Now, the reason why this is important is because the scythe is the main DPS weapon currently for water. Water does not possess an actual DPS weapon, so you do need to have this weapon intact for you to actually do decent damage with the orb as well. Now, the orb, of course, will also provide you with some damage to your skills, to your water skills, but a lot of the damage actually does come from not just the water damage, but also from the weapon skill damage, right? So you guys can see right over here, for example, when a water weapon skill hits, it inflicts Maelstrom, and then you guys can see here down a little further that it actually does affect water weapon skills as well, not just the actual skills of SJW. So you definitely want to have yourself all that prepared. So just keep that in mind when you are doing this. If you are planning to summon for one or the other, in my opinion, you probably want to go with the scythe first. Get that at least to a respectable level. I say maybe A3, ideally A5. You don't want to usually have your DPS be lower than A5. And then the orb is, of course, something that you can summon on. Now, Netmarble, we got to talk about this. What's an easier way for people to do this? There's got to be a secondary pity in place here for weapons. Like, there should be no reason people are spending over 2,000 tickets for an A10, heck, even an A3 at some cases, right? So my suggestion here, and I want you guys to kind of give me your feedback on this, because I think this is a good idea, but I could be off my rocker here. I am getting older. So I think the best thing they should do is provide us with the first pity, and if you lose the first 50-50, you should be able to choose the weapon you want. I know there's 2 options. Reduce it to 1. Just reduce it to 1. Or keep the 2, but then give us an option on the pity section to choose which one we want. You know what I mean? So for example, like let's say I get 3 scythes in a row, but I'm really looking for the orb. After the second scythe, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I've had enough scythes. Even if I were to remove this and put something else on the list that I already have too many of, it's still diminishing the 50-50 chance, obviously, because there's a chance I might get the other weapon. So there should be, I think, adding an extra option to just be able to choose the weapon we want. Just 1 instead of both, just 1 after I don't know how many tickets. Let's be logical here. Let's say after the second 50-50 loss, we should be able to choose the weapon we want. That way it'll at least eliminate a lot of that RNG that's causing people heartaches and problems. The weapon is incredible, guys. If you missed out on my testing, go check it out. We did a full live testing on it, as well as a quick little summary on what you should do. You should definitely summon on this, especially if you are planning to use the scythe, the water scythe, and pretty much boost your water damage overall. These 2 combination of weapons are incredible, and not to mention, not gonna lie, it actually looks pretty damn badass, because look at this. It looks like the Eye of Sauron, doesn't it? Look at this. Look at it. It looks pretty cool, man. I love this whole design. This is actually one of the coolest looking weapons in the game. Next up, they need to just bring out some damn fist weapons so we can watch SJW just kind of pummel things. So I'm hoping we see something like that very, very soon. But with that being said, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Did you have good luck? Did you have bad luck? Please leave a comment behind and let me know if your luck was bad. Mine was okay. I actually did fairly well on my pay to win. I pulled, I'd say, about 700 tickets to A10 it, but I also bought the package to A3. So also, guys, if you are struggling with getting this, remember there is a package available. Now, of course, please spend responsibly, but there is a package available to get the Alon's orb right over here, and this is absolutely the cheapest, I'm going to use the quote-unquote cheapest way to get this weapon to a respectable A3, which is honestly where a lot of people may stop, but I think A5 is obviously the place you want to go. But this is definitely a really good option to grab if you are struggling with the summons and you can afford it, of course, right? And you plan to spend. If you don't plan to spend, don't worry about this message. I'm not telling anyone to spend. I'm just giving you guys an option if you do plan that this is available here. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.